What's going on, good people? This is the Common Man Nate Lewis back with a brand new Common Take. Today is August 23rd, 2017, CommonManPodcast.com, and what a newsworthy day today turned out to be. Lots going on here today. Let's go ahead and get the big one out of the way first. Jon Jones, flagged again by USADA, this time for a substance called Turnaball. Not sure exactly how you pronounce it, but the figure's coming from the test that he took prior to or immediately after the weigh-ins for his fight against Jon Jones on July 29th. And this comes as a big shock to a lot of people. Some people it doesn't. Some people it doesn't come to a big shock too. Congratulations if you saw it coming. Some people were saying that Jones was only a matter of time before he messed up again. And there was a part of me that felt that way too, but still want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. As much as I've called him fake in the past, it really did look like this time was everything was on the straight and narrow and we're good to go. Now, before I get too much into this, I want to get two things out of the way first. One, you can read just about all the facts that I have related to this on CommonManPodcast.com. Just put up a big blog where I kind of go over everything that's come out through various reports. And right now, nothing's set in stone, but those are the facts that are out and as presented. Number two, just want to get this way out of the way also as a disclaimer. Anything said from this point out is just from my point of view, my perspective, my opinions. You would think I wouldn't have to say this on a podcast, but I guess I do have to do that. And I'm not looking for this to be a big bashing session on Jon Jones at all. And actually, it's really not going to be. But just want to make this really, really quick. Don't want to spend too much time on this, but because there's still a process to go through. And that's kind of where I want to start with this. My first reaction when I saw that TMZ first reported this, my first reaction was very similar to the reaction I had when Cyborg failed her USADA test back in December, which was, oh shit, game over, gone 2 years. And then quickly I read that this would be Jones' second violation, even though it's not for the same substance. It's the second violation. It could be up to 4 years. And I went, well, oh shit, now it's really over. Then you really have to take a step back. And if you're a casual fan listening, I'm going to give you a quick what happens next and going forward. If you're familiar with how USADA's testing has impacted UFC, this is going to be a quick reminder. You probably already know this. So USADA does random out of competition tests. There are also in competition tests. And the difference between the two is real simple. If it's 12 hours before the fight or 12 hours after the fight, that is considered in competition. And there are some substances you are absolutely not allowed to have in your system during in competition. Outside of competition falls anything after that. What Jones failed for, his test that he took was 100% in competition. Apparently it was immediately after the weigh-ins for the fight. So let's get that clear also. What he tested for is a PED, a steroid basically. This isn't a performance enhancer. It's not one of those diuretics or one of those kind of iffy things that you saw he got suspended a year for, and same with Brock Lesnar, where it's a diuretic. It's considered a performance enhancer, but it's not a steroid. This one is a steroid. So the way USADA works is they have different penalties and punishments depending on what substance it is. Now, we know that Jon Jones was suspended last year. Again, that was constituted as a diuretic. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. Same thing that Ashley Evans Smith got under that same category. Not the same substances for all three, although Jones and Brock, same one. But they all fall under that category. What Jones is failing for here is your standard when you think someone popped for steroids or failed some type of drug testing. This is what you think of, and this is typically a 2 years for your first offense. We saw this with Chad Mendez. I believe we saw the same thing with Lyoto Machida, but Lyoto Machida, I believe, there was some settlement there, and a little bit less time than that, but your typical 2 years is what you're seeing here with Jon Jones. Now, what happens going forward? Typically, when you get test results back, the first thing, you get your camps to say, we're not sure what happened, we're going to get to the bottom of it, we're blah, 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 blah. That's from the camp's perspective. The next thing to combat or to fight you're failing is to ask for the B sample to be tested. Now, I've listened to a bunch of shows, a bunch of different reactions. Obviously, they can test your B sample. Most likely, whatever branch is doing a drug test will not test your B sample unless it's requested. So that's going to be the next thing we're going to get, is we're going to get the B samples requested. At that point, then, Jones and his team, or probably at this very, very moment, they're going over anything that Jones would have taken during 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks before the test. So they're going to go backwards. They're going to look at any supplements he's taking, any powders, vitamins, pills, anything like that. And they're going to try to come up with, okay, this drug test comes confined because Jones took this supplement that was in this packaging. It's under this batch. This is what it has to be. It's a tainted supplement. You're going to start hearing that a lot. And if you're reading online, you're probably hearing that now about tainted supplements. And you're probably going, well, what's that? Well, I don't have time to go over the FDA regulations when it comes to any of the health and wellness stuff you see at your local Walmart or GNC. Just know that we've had this before. A fighter will go and pick something over the counter. They don't take the time to do their due diligence and get the batch tested. They're thinking it's just a protein shake. They take it. Turns out it's got some type of steroid they had absolutely no idea was on. It isn't on the label. And they get a reduced punishment. That's typically how that works. Now, to me, the first couple of suspensions that we had, you saw a little bit of lenient punishment when it comes to those things. Now, at this point now, we've been doing USADA testing for well over 2 years. Tainted supplements is not going to work anymore. I'm sorry, if you pick up something over the counter, it's your job to figure out exactly everything that's in there. It is 100% your job. First couple months, absolutely. Hey, shit happens. We all know this stuff isn't regulated. Next couple of months, okay, maybe we should steer clear of this shit. Maybe we should. But on the off chance that we're not, let's do some due diligence here. Let's find out. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let me make sure what I'm taking is 100% good for me to go. Now at this point, 2 years in, I'm not sure why people are still taking supplements. Just flat out. I really don't see why people are. And if you're someone that competes or someone that does any vigorous activity and you have something to say about, hey, well, you take a supplement because of this, or this supplement's good for you, you should be doing this, and this, hit me up. We can have a discussion. But when you're talking about losing 2 years of earned income, to me, it's really not worth it to have just a little bit less of a fucking backache the next morning. To me, I just don't see the point. So that's what we're coming up ahead. In this case, kind of, again, I said my first reaction was, oh shit, it's over. Same reaction I had with Cyborg. Now, my reaction to Cyborg is still very much what it was 2 or 3 days after the Cyborg flagging came out, which was, okay, now we know what the supplement is. You're saying you didn't take it for this reason, and you took it for this reason, and a doctor gave it to you, and you thought you were good to go. Now, I'm not going to go way, way back into the Cyborg case, but if you fast forward through all that, yes, she needed it. Doctor gave it to her. They both fucked up, both Doctor and Cyborg, not doing their due diligence and letting USADA know, and the sampler know, and it all comes out of bad publicity. Now, MMA fans, we kind of live in this bubble where we just think it's just a known fact that, okay, well, Cyborg really did need this supplement, and at the end of the day, she got an exemption and she's good. To the outside looking in, you just hear woman fails for whatever. They look at a picture of Cyborg and just go, oh, well, she's taking steroids. That's what you want to avoid if you can. So if this comes down to, oh, this was a tainted supplement, I'm very curious to see that what they come up with if it was filled out on Jones's form when his sample was collected. Because if not, let's just stop it there. I don't give a shit what they say after that. You should throw a book at this guy. And they should have did some type of punishment for Cyborg on top of that also, for failing to disclose. It's moronic. So let's move all that to the side now. One of the reasons why I'm doing this show is actually because of the media scrum I just saw with Dana White in regards to this. Obviously, he's hard at work promoting Mayweather and McGregor coming up on Saturday. And so he's asked about this, and there's a couple interesting things to take from it. Now, what I'm hearing media scrum, I'm hearing he's going to, come out there, he's going to say he's disappointed, we have to wait, and they'll get asked a bunch of questions to which he'll say, we don't know, we'll see. And that's the correct answer on all that. But one thing that really stood out to me is when just flat out it was asked to him, what's next in terms of the championship? And he said, if, in my personal opinion, Daniel Cormier should be the champion. And it's something that Dave Meltzer echoed on his show. It's, hey, yeah, he lost the fight, but you can't lose the fight if Jon Jones, at the end of the day, if this holds up, that win is no longer a win. It's going to be a disqualification. And you can't lose the belt on disqualification. No matter what you and I saw that night, eye to eye, Jones should not have been competing that night. Now, we can't sit here and go, well, why did they let him fight? Obviously, these tests take a while. That's just the truth of the matter. So that being said, the win's going to come off his record. It's a DQ, and now it becomes, does Cormier get the title back? Or do we get a situation, which I mentioned in the article, again, commonmanpodcast.com, with the Randy Couture and Josh Barnett situation where we just have a vacant champion? It'd be really interesting to see this. We're not going to get an answer tomorrow, people. We're not going to know for sure tomorrow. We're not going to know for sure next week. We're not going to know for sure maybe even next month. It's going to be kind of a process. But I'll be interested to see what UFC does once the kind of stuff blows over. I'm not even talking about just the fight, but the week or so after the fight, when they finally have to sit down and decide what to do with Jon Jones. Junior Dos Santos also got flagged by USADA as well. There's things that need to be done in order for these title pictures. And quite honestly, because of Conor in this fight, there's a lot of titles where it's just up in the air. Excuse me. We have a new featherweight champion, but Conor never lost his belt, and Conor will go around to the sky is green saying that he's still the featherweight champion. He hasn't defended the lightweight championship. Chris Cyborg, she beat Tiny Evinger to become the featherweight champion, but that was stripped from Jermaine Durandame, who refused to fight Cyborg, who fought Holly Holm for the title, who fights at 135, and now Jermaine Durandame is going back to 135. So who the hell is in 105? Ty Evinger is also at 135. So that division's nuts. Then you got this in the light heavyweight title. Michael Bisping's fighting George St. Pierre, where George St. Pierre has never fought in this division. And he's getting a title shot against Michael Bisping, who hasn't defended the title since it'll be October. So it'll also be almost 11 months since Bisping's defended this title. You have this going all over the place. The whole thing's in chaos. I think after the Mayweather, I almost want to say Mayweather-Pacquiao. After this Mayweather-McGregor fight, I hope UFC, WME, they get together and they go, we've got to clean this up. And up until this point, none of the stuff was really bothering me about these divisions. I just found it funny. But now that you had Jon Jones on top of this shit's a mess. And I really hope it gets cleaned up quickly. So I've been trying to kind of withdraw holding my personal opinion about the Jon Jones situation itself. And I'm like I said, I didn't want to turn this into a bashing session. It's not going to be. But at the end of the day, I'm reading some people who are taking him out of GOAT conversations, people who are defending him to the very end. People are just saying this is just complete bullshit. Some people still don't believe it. People still thinking it'll be overturned. I don't know what. But right now, the way I'm feeling right now, if this stands and USADA comes down with something like a 3-year suspension, a 4-year suspension, people are saying you should cut Jon Jones. Some people say don't cut him because then he'll just go to Bellator or he'll fight in Ryzen. If I'm UFC, just let him. Let him go. And some people are going, well, you're losing out on money. He can go make money there, but he can't make money with me because he's going to continue to be a problem with these passing of these tests. Or you never know what he's going to do outside the octagon. You just don't know. You can't trust the guy. So why keep him on? And some people are going, well, hold on to him for 4 years and then dump him. Because a thing about UFC contracts, they get paid per fight, not per time. So you can ice him for those 3 or 4 years and then cut him, just to make sure another competition doesn't get to use him. To me, that just sounds real bitter and shit. The guy made a mistake, but you know, he's already got the punishment there. He can't make there is not another organization he can go to and make the money he's making in UFC. There's just not. So to me, if it were me and I'm UFC and they tell me Jones has a 4-year suspension, ice him 4 year and then cut him. Just good riddance. He's really not going to be able to fight in the U.S. He's really not going to be able to. So if he has to go to Japan to make some money there, good luck to him. We'll see how that goes for him. But he'll no longer be a distraction for us. Because if they don't cut him, the questions will always be asked of the UFC when there's something in the light heavyweight division, when there's a heavyweight, when there's a title fight. What are you going to do with Jon Jones? When do you expect Jon Jones to come back? Just get rid of the distraction. And that's what I would do. But I'm just going to wrap it up here. I wanted to keep this short. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. We'll obviously be following this story. This story was so big, and along with the Celtics and Cavaliers trade, I watched none of SmackDown, and I completely wanted to see SmackDown. As Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Roode both made returns tonight, I wanted to see that. I just couldn't with all this that's going on. So thank you, Jon Jones. I missed out on an episode of SmackDown I wanted to see. But anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Again, thank you guys for listening. Check out the blog on commonmanpodcast.com where I kind of break down this stuff a little bit more. And we'll look to keep you updated. And we'll definitely be back before the biggest fight of the year, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather. We'll be back before then. I'll give you my actual prediction, even though I've done a prediction on the site. I'll give you my actual prediction here on the show as well. So check it out. All the links are going to be in the description. Peace and chicken grease.